Hi crafters, Amy here with Amy's Wares, and I have a simple stenciled handmade hugs card to share with you. And I have this awesome stencil. It's called Fractured Squares. It's an older one from a Colorful Life Designs. I have this hugs stamp set from Avery L. It has this big hugs stamp and all these cool little sub-sentiments. It's called Loads of Hugs. And here's the finished card that I'm going to make for you to show you the direction that we're headed. Came together in a snap, some single ink blending, simple ink blending and stamping, and it came together really quickly. So it's nice and single layer, not bulky, easy to ship, and I'm going to show you how I made it. So I'm using my fabulous glass mat that's magnetized, and I have these magnets kind of holding down the whole shebang while I do some very simple ink blending directly on a card base. And this card base is a 120-pound accent opaque. I get it from Amazon. I will link that as well as all the other products that I used in the video description box below if they are still available. But you can see the openings aren't super long or like slats on this one, so I didn't actually even use any pixie spray. So you can absolutely use a temporary adhesive if you'd like, but in this case I didn't find it necessary. Now you can see I'm actually using complementary colors here. It's kind of like a bluish teal with the orange, which typically could muddy up the colors, but this particular combo, I like it when they mix. It kind of makes a greenish brown, and I just love this color combination. So it's not always bad to mix colors that maybe don't necessarily get along on the color wheel. So now I just loaded this card base right into my MISTI, and I'm taking this big imposing hugs stamp, and I'm going to stamp that directly kind of at a diagonal, going with the ink blending on the front of this card base. So I'm going to use my magnets when I'm done fighting with them, and I'm going to condition my stamp. So when you first get a clear stamp or a photopolymer stamp, you want to condition it either with your hand or an eraser to kind of get the manufacturer's goo off of it. And I have this really pretty teal color. It's a mini ink pad from Catherine Pooler. It's probably similar to the ink, residual ink that was in my blending brushes that I ink blended with, so I know that it'll match. I'm using my press tool from Tailored Expressions to just really press that down, and I'm going to stamp it one more time just to make sure I have nice even coverage and to kind of deepen that color even further. Because Catherine Pooler inks are dyes, they are going to get a little bit darker the more often you stamp. Now here I decided to just stamp a bunch of these because I figure I'll just throw them in my sentiment binder for future usage. So if I have my MISTI out and I'm going to the trouble, I figure I might as well get a bunch of these sentiments ready to go. Now I am stamping them in the teal, which is kind of a specific color, but I do use teal quite often, so I figured it was still worth it. You could also probably finagle and kind of just put the whole packaging kind of taped onto your MISTI door, but I figured I would just pull some of them out and just stamp a bunch of them willy-nilly on a piece of cardstock, and then I would just kind of manually cut out what I needed. If you wanted to be more concise and use a paper trimmer, then you probably want to line these stamps up a little bit straighter, but I didn't have any trouble kind of just manually cutting it out. And I did pop the strip up with my little thin foam strips that I get from Amazon, and I put some resin droplets on for a little bit of blingage, and that's it. So hugs, sending handmade hugs. So sure to bring a smile. Thanks for spending time with me today, and I'll catch you next time. Bye.